Going up against Monkey Freedom Fighters, the drafts are out. We've pretty much just torn them apart and discussed everything that needs to be discussed. So all there's left to do is just to wait and see what these teams do with them, and also what they do in terms of the lanes. So it looks like at the moment for the side of OG, pretty standard stuff. We've got Crit down here, No Tail as well, with Miracle just looking for the bottom rune. And it'll be interesting to see where the Undying goes. I mean, does he stick up top with the Slardar? Do you think they'll leave the Slardar on their own here and kind of look to just make a trial lane down bottom?
He may go up there. I think
Nice.
when you have a
Classic move.
when you have a Night Stalker and a Darkseer on the same team, I think putting the Undying with the Slardar and the offlane can be good for you, because then it means that Yapzor might feel a little bit pressured to go there himself. And if the Night Stalker is not casually walking around getting something out of the early game, I think as OG you'd be quite happy. And Disruptor cannot zone both of those heroes on his own. There's no way. Like, Slardar Undying will just walk at you. Otherwise, I think we could end up just seeing Fly do a little bit of stacking in the early game for Miracle.
Okay, and in terms of the runes, OG will be able to get themselves that top one there for No Tail's Brew. And down the bottom, they get a rise on his Leshrac, the bounty. So, in terms of the side of MFF, so the fact that you've got Demon on this Darkseer, now Darkseer is one of those heroes that I can't remember the last time we saw a bad performance on the Darkseer, and Demon, you know, he's a wacky man, he's a crazy guy, and we may just be seeing some crazy stuff from the Darkseer. Fly at the moment, hanging around mid, he's going to give the Kabap the slap, forces him back here with the rotation, and it is just No Tail up against a rise here in this mid lane. I mean, this is a matchup that I feel like we haven't seen in a long time, the Brew versus the Leshrac, and bottom lane. Absol's moving in there with Demon, but they've got the heal from Crit here, so Miracle's going to be okay. But yeah, mid lane, Brew versus Lesh. What are No Tail's chances here on the Brewmaster?
I think it's alright. Because of the fact they nerfed Lightning Storm, you're going to take a little bit of harass. He's already got his bottle up though, and you can just go back for a magic stick, and then you'll have a ton of mana on the Brew to be able to spam out the wave. Fly is even sitting here doing a little bit of extra zoning. I think it's a-okay for him.
Okay, I mean, what's the game plan here for No Tail on the mid, Brew? Is it just to try and get as quick a timing as you can on the Blink Master and look to join the fights elsewhere on the map? Or do you imagine we'll see rotations from OG looking to help push in on the mid lane and try and punish the mid Leshrac?
Killing a Rise is pretty hard with their heroes. Like, you got support Dazzle and Undying. You don't have any lockdown between the two of them unless Crit wants to get a point into Poison Touch early. I think that's very unlikely given the dual offlane coming out from MFF. I think it's probably just going to be a little bit of static lane farming from the side of OG. Okay. Maybe get a couple of stacks going if you feel that you can commit Crit or Fly to doing it, but as it stands right now, it just looks like a standard 2-1-2 matchup. And the one thing about the supports on MFF, Kabap is going to need levels really badly. Like Disruptor, we saw yesterday what happens when you don't get a 6 at a decent timing. The enemy team can simply run at you, and it's very hard to do anything prior to getting Static Storm. And it's not like in this lane he's going to be able to glimpse a hero out of position to kill, because he only has a Mirana. It's not a Gyrocopter who has Rocket Barrage and does like a jillion damage. It's just like, okay, I can throw an arrow, maybe I hit it on a glimpse. If I do, I'm fighting into like 2 strength heroes. They're really hard to kill.
I mean, I guess this is the thing, that the fact that they are running the Sing Sing Mirana, that he may be very mobile across the map towards the mid game, which is going to free up a lane for the Disruptor, or of course any of the other heroes that look to find those levels. No Tail's going to be able to find himself a haste rune towards the top, and Sing Sing at the moment, the CS is looking pretty good. In return though, Moon here, moving in with Fly, and worth noting, just in case anyone doesn't know, Ice 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 is Moon. He's of course just playing on the fact that during the 99 Championships, Ice 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 himself was using everyone else's name, so Moon said, well, we'll just take Ice 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 as if he doesn't want it himself.
Apparently, even in the pro games where you have the team tags, you can still change your name more often now.
Yes,
so
I believe
people are just like musical names all over the
Envy
place.
was the one to start telling the pros this.
Yeah, thanks, Envy.
Thanks, Jackie.
It's very helpful. But the early game, pretty, I guess, slow-paced if you want to call it that. But wait until Heroes get 6.
Oh,
and
yeah,
we're
it's
gonna start
kick off.
seeing some things go
absolutely.
down here.
And I mean, the thing is, with MFF's draft, if they don't get the early momentum and Miracle farms like a madman, as we've seen him do before on the Gyrocopter, I kind of feel the later this game goes, it's not going to be pretty for Monkey Freedom Fighters if they haven't managed to put OG in their place in the earlier portion of the game.
Oh, definitely. And when BKB start coming out, if you don't already have a stranglehold on the game as MFF, you are going to start running into issues. Because Gyro with BKB, Slardar with Blink BKB, of course that one's going to be a bit later, he is offlane. If that stuff comes to fruition before you've really dealt a significant amount of damage to OG, you are in real big trouble. Because even getting BKBs on MFF isn't really that scary. You still have the Slardar who's going to have amplified damage. You can still focus somebody down through BKB with relative ease. Unless that Leshrac has an amazing game and just has like Shivas or something up at a decent timing. So there's a lot here that MFF I think have to accomplish. It is first night now. See if Yapzor wants to make any movements one way or the other.
Some kind of action in the mid lane would be nice, because at the moment, NoTail has got the CS advantage here, 21 for 3, up against Arise's 16 for 6. So we talked about how well the Brew would do in the mid, and it looks like the Leshrac at the moment, not too much of an issue, maybe now. They're going to try and make a go for it, they get the stun to follow up as well. Yapzor is there, moving in. There'll be a TP in from Dazzle. Can he save NoTail? Looks like he can, and Monkey Freedom Fighters, they just don't have the damage here to bring down the Brew in the mid lane, and NoTail's going to be fine, and that's a nighttime gank from Yapzor, unsuccessful in the mid lane.
They apply some pressure, I guess, but I don't think NoTail is going to be too concerned over it. He is halfway to level 6, so Arise is out leveling in for the time being. I think during mid game.
Miracle!
Okay.
Very close there. Demon's going to be able to get the salve off, and now Miracle himself salving up. Yapzor is moving in, and Miracle, he's incredibly deep, but he's in a lot of trouble. He's trying to duke it out with the creep. Has spotted him, they'll get the Void slow, and Demon will move back in with the Iron Shell. Miracle using the Rocket Barrage, but split between the two heroes is not quite enough. He's trying to get himself out. Eats the Mango, look for the second one, tries to turn, but the Void's there. Yapzor gets himself splurged, so not finding much success in the mid lane, but bottom lane, Yapzor securing that for the side of MFF.
If only that range creep wasn't there, because he was actually walking past him. He had no idea that he had eaten that tree. That was very unfortunate for him, but a very, very good thing for Yapzor, because he is one of the heroes in this team who need to rotate and need to have them be successful, so it's good on him to be able to get that first blood going for MFF. And this whole time, like, Mirana is free farming, got 35 and 6 CS, just under 6 minutes. That is very good farm, and he's managed to hold Moon down, I would say, relatively well. And it's not like roaming and dying is that scary, you know? It's not like a Night Stalker where you're coming in with a slow and a 5-second silence 6 minutes in. I think Fly is more here for the side of OG just to ensure that their 5-man fights go favorably.
Yes.
Because they already have Gyro, they already have Brew Split. Their teamfight utility is crazy. All these heroes on both teams actually just need levels. That's the only thing. Like, yeah, you're going to get a mech up on your Darkseer, and you're going to eventually go, like, either Blink or Force Staff on Slardar, but it's just level 6. Then you go.
Okay, NoTail there. Picks up an Invis. He's going to head back towards mid. Has got level 6 in the split. MFF, they're trying to make it going on Fly here. They've got the crippling fear out, silencing him up. They look for the follow stun, but Fly jukes, and now NoTail turns up. He's going to put the split. They might just lose Fly, they will, but the Tombstone's already down. We'll see if NoTail can find anything in return here. Trying to move in onto Arise. He's going to get the stun out. Has he got the damage here to bring down this Leshrac? Chris still on the high ground, looking for the hero bomb, and they can continue to chase down the Leshrac here. Arise may just go down past the judges, but the stun's there once more. He's got the earn up as well. He's going to be killed. No! Well, NoTail will find it there as he pounds the ground. Get the kill onto Leshrac. Rabbit's maybe seeing if he can find something in return. Kabap is moving in as well. The Moonlight Shadow is up, and they find the Void slow. Kinetic Field gets dropped down. There's still a heals on the side coming through from Crypt Flight, turning back in with the Decay, but MFF looks like they'll sack that one and back off. So they do lose the Leshrac there as OG get themselves onto the map, but of course there was a kill as well for the side of MFF. So still MFF leading 2 for 1 on the kills at the moment, 7 minutes in.
Definitely worth it for OG. Even expending a Brew Split there, it is a relatively long cooldown at level 1, 140 seconds. I think a lot of people have a really weird mentality about how to use Brew Split. Sure, sometimes you want to try to get objectives out of it, but because of MFF's lineup, you really want to stop them from getting... Okay,
Miracle is trying to go for the Seamer with the ball being dropped, and Yapzor throws down the Void. It's too much damage for that man. He's going to try and move in for more here. Doesn't have the mana here for any more burst onto Crypt, but...
I don't know if Jimmy did that on purpose, but if he did, he is some kind of god, because his Rocket Barrage, he killed the illusion, so it hit him again. Like, if he didn't kill the illusion with Rocket Barrage, he probably would have killed Demon before he died, at the very least. So, unfortunate that ended up going that way. Miracle looking at the 0 and 2 right now. Maybe not too pleased with the way his early game is going. And it's good news for MFF.
This is very good news for MFF. And the fact that Sing Sing at the moment, pretty much perfect free farm on this top lane. He's top of the net worth. CS as well. He's right up there at the top of the board. Sing Sing's having a great time. He's got the Faye as a healer. And he's rocking the old mangoes as well. Ready to go. There's a bit of action maybe going to be looked for on the top lane as you've got Slardar and the Undying hanging around as well. Arise in the mid lane. He's falling a little bit behind the Brew in terms of net worth, obviously due to the fact that NoTail was able to find that kill onto Arise there with the first split. And NoTail is very close to this Blink Dagger now on top of the brown boots. He's coming up to 1900 gold, so he's going to have the pre-10-minute Blink probably at this rate. And that, of course, is something that MFF have to be a bit scared of, especially still at this point, as you were talking about earlier, where they don't have the Static Storm on the Disruptor.
He is level 4. He's a little bit behind, but it's not too terrible. He's doing some creep pulling right now. Hopefully Kebab can recover. The big thing is, you just want to be 6 before real big fights start breaking out.
You need that 6. It's going to be huge. And Notail taking a bit of a rest here. Rise moving in. There is a split available. Notail will use it. Yapzo couldn't get the silencing in time. And now Notail's trying to turn. There'll be a TP coming in from Crit here on the Dazzle. Have they got the control to deal with Rise? They'll throw out the stun, but the stun from Notail is already flying through. They'll look for Rise. Can they get themselves the kill? They can. That's going to be one. Now they're trying to turn for Yapzo as well. The tombstone's been dropped. Knight's dog trapped up. He's going to look for the TP. Is he going to be able to make it? No!
Nice.
They've got the burst. And OG will find 2 kills in the mid lane, and that will secure the gold there for Notail to pick up the blink. Top lane, Ice trying to get himself away, but even that jumps forward, gets the final hour to the backside there of the fish. And MFF will find a kill in return on the top lane, but 2-for-1 there across the map, and OG themselves looking to pressure the mid tier 1.
I love how you went full commentator there and called him Ice. I respect that.
You
just say what you see on the street, man.
If he wants to label himself as Ice, I'm going to call him that.
Alright.
I'm going to call him that.
Alright, that's fair enough. But I think what happened mid is a really good example of what we can expect to see from a lot of team fights on the side of OG. You drop a tombstone, you pop split. How do you kill the tombstone if the Brewmaster has already used his ulti? How do you kill the tombstone if you're dropping a call down on top of it as well? It becomes very difficult to focus down, even with 3 ranged heroes on the side of MFF, because you simply cannot stand still long enough to hit it. You have to be walking around. Bottom lane, we're also going to see Miracle finally get a solo kill here on Jimmy.
Oh, and Yapso trying to turn it around. He's going to have a Void in a couple of seconds. Throws down the silence. He's looking for Miracle. He can't quite find the vision here for the Void, and Miracle's going to hide in the silence. Rise there as well. He tries to turn it. He gets the cooldown out, but the stone's coming through. Can he kill Yapso? No time. They'll lose one. Ice with the cleanup. Gets Yapso. Arise, he's still got a bit of mana here in the tank. He'll look to try and find the Slara. In fact, he's just juking it out because Crit's there. Drops the weave, gets the vision. The stone's going to be juked here by Ice. He's trying to move back in. Crit's looking for the wraparound to try and block Arise in the tree line. He's not going to quite be able to get it. And Arise looks to get himself out. And here's the backup. Sing Sing turns up to the fight, and they want to turn here. Looking forward onto Crit here. He pops out the heel win. Now Shadow Graves up himself. No tell me who's wrong with the Blade. He gets the left rack, and he's going to go for the Sing Sing Beaver Knight as well. The connecting field's dropped down, but Beaver Knight will just be able to get himself out of it. TP now coming into the bottom lane from Yapzo. They're looking to continue this fight, potentially Monkey Freedom Fighters, but Notail at full HP blinks himself away. He's going to be alright. And as we said, I mean, the first 4 minutes, very passive, but 11 minutes in, things are certainly kicking off between these two teams.
I think this is what we both expected coming in. Everybody's got their ultimates available now. Static Storm up on Kebab. Oh god, he might...
Whoa! Have some of that, he says!
Alright, so crit amplify damage on a Disruptor. Turns out, hurts pretty bad when you only get 2 base armor.
And this is, I mean, it's 7-5 at the moment. OG Notail is having a freaking game at the moment. 4 kills, 1 assist. But by no means is this too bad for Monkey Freedom Fighters. Sing Sing's still doing fairly well. He's been able to find himself involved in a few kills across the map. But MFF, they need to look for another potential fight here, because if they lose another like this, they might lose a Rise. Jump straight in here with the split. Oh my goodness! Is that Ice Frog? Blimmin' heck, that heal bomb! I mean, he did not have a chance to Rise. Granted, he did have literally no armor.
Well, he had negative armor.
He had negative armor.
Yeah. That was actually pretty funny.
Top lane, yep, so I was trying to go for Samir on Iso's side. Demons there as well. Kebab, can they get the trip on the kinetic for this? They do. They're going to try and move in. TP's coming through Iso, turns around with the crash, trying to move himself out of the CS. Sticking it below, the thumb strikes rather, bring him back. Can they kill the Slider? Yes, they can. Look at the Slider, no tails there, trying to move forward, but the illusion just from himself, slapping him on the backside. But back up, Monkey Freedom Fighters. And it will just be that, just the 1-for-1 trade there on the top.
The Shadow Waves are destroying them.
This man, Crit
has actually just like insta-killed 3 or 4 heroes.
Oh, that's a Sing Sing arrow. Can they follow it up? There is no split here for 90 seconds. The Static Storm shot, this could be huge. Gets onto Notail, they're moving with the Starstorm. The Shadow Graves there from Crit, tries to get himself out to the sidelines, healing up Notail. Can he save the Brew here? Brew, he actually finds the kill onto Yapso here. Sing Sing's moved in, moving with the right place, but the heals there from Crit. Now with the Weavers, what? They just can't kill Sing Sing and Notail. Picks out, they'll lose Kebab, they'll lose Sing Sing. Crit here just saving his team, but at the same time destroying the opponents. On this Dazzle, this man, he's been having a mad time so far, and 12-6 now on the board. OG are breaking away.
They got overexcited realizing that, like, Bruce splits down, we gotta go, you know, they want a tower dive, they need a really big, high priority kill at this stage in the game, but MFF just can't find it. The max Shadow Wave this early, already having Arcanes, already having the Earn Up. He's gonna be level 9 the next engagement, or even before that, and that means max level Grave on top of everything else. So I think if Kebab had landed the kinetic field, they would have killed both heroes. But because of the fact that he was able to walk out, like Crit didn't get caught, He's able to get the Grave, which extends the fight, and then they have to go for a bigger dive. Just didn't end up working out for them, and for now, as a team who needs to get momentum, MFF have to find their footing. They can't get deterred by these fights that keep going bad for them. I really think they need to smoke and make something happen.
They really do, because OG are breaking away, and as we talked about from a draft standpoint, MFF just can't let this happen if they wish to come out of this fight victorious mid lane. Miracle just applying some pressure onto the mid tier one. We've got some of the side of Monkey Freedom Fighters hanging around here, but TP backups there for OG. Sending Ice down here as well on the slider. Bottom lane, Sing Sing looking to just push this lane out, find himself a bit of solo farm, and in fact the rest of MFF are moving down here as well. So it's just going to be OG putting pressure on the mid lane. Monkey Freedom Fighters themselves looking for pressure on the bottom. Hopefully just a tier 1 for tier 1 trade here at the moment. The question is, are OG going to be able to look for the potential wrap round and jump onto the side of Freedom Fighters off the back of this tower?
I think they definitely want to fight. The thing is, if you're MFF right now, and you've been losing every single engagement, going for a tower trade seems like a reasonable thing to do, because at the very least, you're not going to be giving up any more kills. And you're taking a safe lane tier 1 for a mid, probably still favoring OG in that regard. But honestly, how do you fight into them right now?
This is it from Monkey Freedom Fighters. Smoked up, trying to see if they can catch OG off the bat, but it's going to be so hard.
They don't have any sentries down, actually, do they? No. Okay, there we go,
There's a cooldown, there's a primal split. OG have got everything to fight this here. They're trying to move in the moonlight. Here we go. Yapzor up. He finds Ice, but no goes straight and puts the primal split straight away. The dust is out here. Arrow flies through the middle of the fight. Here, Sing Sing blinks forward. He found it. Extra quick. Can he get crit? Yes. He's taking the dazzle out of this fight. Maybe they can find something more here. In fact, OG now on the back foot, trying to get themselves out. Demon's moving forward. No-Tail does find the kill. They're on to come back from the Disruptor. Arise throwing out the lightning, but now he's out of mana. He's got no mana left in the tag. Demon getting stunned up here. No-Tail moving forward, blinks forward, and it'll be Miracle to find that kill. So it's a 3-for-1 so far. They chucked Arise up in the air. They're moving with the clap as well. Arise does get off the stone to No-Tail, but it doesn't matter. They've lost 4, and it's only Sing Sing remaining alive here in the mid lane. So this time they lose crit, but it doesn't matter. OG still taking a very favourable fight even without their dazzle.
It just goes to show how strong OG are in the 5-man. That fight started off about as good as you could have asked for because Crit got arrowed. Normally when a Static Storm comes out, he's able to heal somebody, he throws out a Weave, he's able to grave whoever's stuck inside of it, and then the Storm is kind of negated. But since he ate an arrow, none of that happened. And they still can't win an engagement. Like, that is a huge problem right now for MFF. There's so many high priority targets, like you need to stop Bruce Split, you need to stop the Grave from coming out, you have to watch out for Call Down, you have to kill Tombstone. It's just, engaging into them is so difficult to do that MFF, as of right now, unless they land like a perfect wombo combo, I don't know if they can win a fight.
Oh, look at Miracle, he's just walking straight in, he gets the cooldown and he's going to clip a loose bunch of them. Tries to move in the vacuum, he's going to be left without no chance, clap. He's found one, double kill for Miracle, the arrow comes through for 60, but it doesn't matter, it's a triple kill, it's an ultra kill for Miracle. As he just dismantles the lineup of Monkey Freedom Fighters there, as they dive beyond the tier 2. And this was one of the things we did kind of expect that we might see from OG, just the same caliber of performance that they gave us yesterday. And it's looking to be a bit of a repeat from the series that we saw them go against 4 Clovers, because 20-7, 17 minutes in, the gold graph and the XP graph are not going to look pretty for Sing Sing and his boys. 10k difference at the moment. Woo. This is OG continuing to be on form as they were yesterday.
I honestly,
Sing Sing.
Again, I don't know what MFF are supposed to do at this point. Like, there's Vlad's completed. I'm pretty sure, did Moon buy his Blink Dagger? Yeah, he did. He has it in the curry. Okay, cool. So Moon has Blink. Fly's got 2100 gold just casually sitting in his inventory. So if they want to get even farther ahead and just go for a mech, they have Vlad's mech completed. Their Brewmaster has the Blink Dagger already, of course, with the level 2 split. All their teamfight utility is available at 17 or 18 minutes in, and they have a 10k advantage over what MFF do right now. Like, yeah, Jimmy's mech isn't even done yet.
Oh, come on, Jimmy.
Like, he has it in the career.
Okay.
But
good job, Jimmy.
It's really problematic when the first couple of engagements happen before your offlaner has his mech, when that's one of the sole reasons you pick the hero. Like, you don't pick Darkseer to not have a mech by like 19, 18 minutes. That is super late by most standards.
OG, we'll see what the next move is here. 9.8k at the moment on this gyro overall in net worth terms. 3K ahead of Sing Sing's Mirana. We saw it yesterday. Miracle had an absolute game in terms of farm on this hero, and it's not him just prioritizing the farm. He's all over the map. He's as active as a Gyro should be in this current meta. You know, 7 kills, has died 3 times with 3 assists as well. He's been involved in half of the kills, and he's got just an insane amount of farm. 131 CS at the moment, 18 minutes in. It just doesn't slow down that farm, even though he's attending the fights. And this is what's scary for a Monkey Freedom Fighters, because as you said, playing from this position with this lineup isn't a position that you volunteer yourself to be in.
Absolutely not. I mean, this is even prior to BKBs coming out on OG. You usually look at a team dynamic and you think to yourself, okay, a couple of things. When is our lineup stronger based on like team fight ability, so ultimates? When is our team stronger with BKBs, or is the enemy team stronger with BKBs?
Oh.
That kind of sets the tone for your timing, and OG have already hit theirs.
If you're a fan of Sing Sing, I advise that you look away right now, because this isn't going to be pretty for the side of MFF. Jumping straight in here onto Gabappa. They look to take down the Disruptor first. Static Storm comes out, but what does it matter? Primal Split's already there. They're trying to chase down Sing Sing. They do get the stun to fly here. It doesn't matter though. Demon's there. He gets taken down by the side of OG. Monkey Freedom Fighters, can they get themselves out? No. Kabap gets a slap to the back, and now Nightstalker held in place by No2. The whole 5-man move in. They'll watch him as he's thrown up into the end. Yapzor is going to be the 3rd casualty for the side of the Dire. Nothing of any value being lost from OG, and on top of that as well, they'll just move into the Roche pit, take the Roshan, take the Aegis. And this game may only be 20 minutes in, but it's I don't know, it's not great for Monkey Freedom Fighters, to say the least.
Yeah, I think that's putting it a bit loosely.
A little bit loosely.
It's respectful to the team.
It's not great for MFF.
It is a very respectful way of putting it, for sure. This game, it's just a really good example of an early mid-game fighting team who gets exactly what they want out of the early game and then just snowballs. Like, their laning phase was fine. No Tail hasn't died a single time in a 20-minute game.
He's a madman.
He's been involved at 18 of the 23 kills they have. They're fighting around him. And I kind of want to harken back to what you said about Miracle's farm. The reason why he always has such high CS is because no one else on the side of OG hits creeps. Look at their CS scores. Miracle is the only person hitting creeps because they just say, look, okay, our Brew has Vlad's, he has Blink, he doesn't need anything else. Our Undying has Mech Arcanes, he doesn't need anything else. We just want to try to end the game between 20 and 30 minutes. That's our goal. If we get full map control by that point, then sure, we can start going back, farming other items on the Slardar, but he already has Blink, and we know that we've been winning teamfight after teamfight, so it's not as if he needs to farm for the BKB. It's more just Miracle's the only one who scales that well with the CS, so every time they're playing as 5, he just takes all the farm.
I mean, if MFF can turn this around, I don't even know what Dota is anymore. This is it's
an
painful.
uphill battle.
It is. It's uphill. It's like uphill, but the hill's kind of, you know, that way around.
Yes.
So you're trying to climb up a hill.
You're going
There's not
upside
even
down,
a hill.
more or less.
You're climbing up kind of the underside of a cliff.
Yeah.
With your
Hopefully
hands
you
covered
got
in butter.
some of them spike shoes.
It's, I mean, not the ideal start for Singing Boys. But it is game 1. There are going to be 2 games. Maybe they're kind of saving strats for game 2.
I don't really think that their draft was that bad. I think it's more the Brewmaster last pick kind of hurt them a lot, because suddenly you just have this high priority target where it's like, oh, if he gets split off, the team fight becomes very difficult. So at that point, how do we take an engagement? Okay, well, somebody's going to be stuck in the air, because that's just what Brewmaster does.
Yeah, but
somebody else is going to be getting focused by the split of the earth and the fire panel, so they're going to be taking damage and getting stunned. And then we also have to find a way to kill a tombstone, prevent a Grey from coming out, deal with Weave Flat Cannon, and also Call Down. Like, there's just so many things in the fight that it's like, how do you stop it all? The teamfight utility on OG is just nuts.
It really is. It really is. I think as well, as we can see on the screen, well, actually, in fact, on your screen, if we actually get the CS up on the main monitor overall, it's exactly what you said. You look at that and you're kind of like, well, Gyro's doing all right, but what's the rest of the team doing? They're behind the farm of MFF. Yep. But it's as you said, they just give all the priority for Gyro. They let Miracle clean up all the lanes left, right, and it works out, this strat.
It shows a thorough understanding of the lineup itself, how each individual hero is supposed to function in said lineup, and when you're supposed to win. So OG had a really good example of how kind of poised they can be when they're ahead. Yesterday, by not ending the game when they clearly could have, even with like a 10-15k lead, they're like, you know what, our team's not really that good at going high ground. Let's just wait it out, make sure that we are 100% confident in taking this push, and then do it.
Yes,
and okay,
absolutely.
like you mentioned, it's not like super exciting, but it shows discipline.
It really does.
And that kind of thing means that when OG come into this game, they're showing discipline by like understanding I don't need to play greedy, I don't need to nuke this wave out if Miracle's here. I can let him take the farm. I can let him get to BKB because that puts us in a better position to just win the game.
Yeah, and I think we've seen that as well, especially from specific players like No-Tail. I believe we saw his performance on the Ember Spirit the other day. I don't think he died at all, or if he did, it was only a couple of times by the end of the game. And
no, he didn't die at all.
He didn't die at all.
He lost an Aegis, but he didn't actually die.
And this is No-Tail. He's the crazy man, you know what I mean? We're used to seeing him doing wacky things with the heroes, going all in, going all out. But he always gets away with it, at least in the series that we've seen over the last 2 days. And it's been a very impressive performance from him and the boys. And I think a lot of people are going to be very excited to see a lot more from this team off the back of what we've seen of these last 2 days. And of course what we saw before. A lot of people had high hopes for this lineup. And at the moment it just seems to be there. The synergy, everything. Just the control, the discipline, as we keep saying. And it's something that a lot of other teams, they just don't have that amount of control when it comes to those key decisions, towards the later portions of the game, where there is every potential for the game to be thrown. Because we've seen time and time again, teams get far ahead, they make one bad late game decision, and suddenly the other team's back into a match that they look to have already lost.
Yeah, it actually happens way more than it should, even with tier 1 teams, I feel. So it's refreshing to see a team actually take that approach to it. But MFF for now, they are kind of chilling around here mid. Arise opted to go for the Yules first. I think that in this particular game, going for Yules can be nice. It can set up a Static Storm, Kinetic Field, and a good target. That is definitely a solid use of it. But when you're behind, Yules is very difficult to actually play with because you only had 800 health. Like, he takes 1 or 2 nukes and he's just 10. But here we go.
To start the fight, jumps in with the clap, gets the ult off, will stun up Yapsor here. There'll be the Yules. No, in fact, sorry, there's a Spirit throwing up Sing Sing into the other. Static Storm will trap Miracle, but he just puts the BKB, walks out. The cooldown comes out. He's going to be able to come back with Demon here, moving forward with the Rocket Barrage and the Flat Cannon. They're found 2. They'll get a rise here as well. There's a double kill for Miracle. Now on a godlike streak on his Gyrocopter. There'll be a buyback from Jimmy on the Darkseer, but the pressure's being put on Ice. Ice gets the crush onto 2. aka Moon backing off, now hits onto the tier 3, and what can they do to stop this here? Sing Sing desperately throwing arrows in, and they just walk aside it. It's going to be duked out. Ice wants to jump back in, looks for Jimmy here. He's going to back up here, but now No-Tail, he's been tagged in with the clap. Vacuum comes out, but there's just no follow-up here from Jimmy. He has got the wall, which is not feeling confident enough to throw it down. The flat cannon shots just forcing Monkey Freedom Fighters back into the base, and OG, they turn left for the objectives. Then he comes back onto Ice, but he blinks away straight away, dodges the arrow once more. Melee racks on the top lane are going to get taken down. The range racks will shortly follow. And it's going to be the first set of racks down here against the side of MFF for 23 minutes, and the fight's not done. The push is there. No-Tail as well with the clapper, with the cooldown. 2 are gone beyond godlike for this Gyrocopter. Only a Rising Demon and Kebab left. They get a nice vacuum wall, but it doesn't matter. The tombstones drop. The mech's there as well. Double kill and GG's called. They've had enough, and it is going to be a team wipe just to rub salt into the wounds. 31-7. OG again with pretty much another flawless performance here.
I think the rate of improvement for this team is astounding. Like, we saw them in DreamLeague before, and they lost, like, what, 4 games, I think it was, or something like that? And then they come back, they've won now 13 games in a row, because Lumi said they won 12 before this match, so that makes 13. That was probably one of the more convincing performances I've ever seen, and that's even including